Welcome to another show. Today, we will compare two comedic icons who got their start on Saturday Night Live at roughly the same time, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase.
He's incredibly wonderful equipment.
Let's take a look at that mouth. Say ah.
I mean, he's been club champion for 3 years running, and I'm no slouch myself.
Don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous slouch.
Bill Murray and Chevy Chase are two of the most prominent figures in the comedy world. Both have had illustrious careers spanning several decades, leaving indelible marks on film and television. Their paths have intersected numerous times, leading to collaborations and rivalries. This article delves into their careers, examining their contributions to comedy, their achievements, and the dynamics between them. Both actors started their careers around the same time on Saturday Night Live. Their rivalries are infamous in that they actually came down to fisticuffs on an episode featuring musician Billy Joel. Lorne Michaels, who created Saturday Night Live, was candid about the famous night that Murray and Chase came to blows. They get into a fight, Michaels confirmed, and John Belushi provoked it a little bit. It was probably my mistake because I was bringing Chevy back to host, but it was just a season and a half after he left. But it just made sense, Michaels said, taking some accountability for the confrontation.
I went to host. Bill had been my replacement when I left. I found out later from Lorne that John had been kind of jealous about my rise to fame.
Yes.
And maybe for good reason. The fact is that John was brilliant.
Chevy left, and there was a feeling like he left them. You know, he was really the breakout star, and he was spectacular. And when he left, I think the original people felt like he left them in the lurch. Like, wow, how could you do that? We were all in this together. And I sort of was the avenging angel as the new guy.
They got into a skirmish in front of the page desk, and then Chevy had to go out and do the monologue. Michaels also confirmed some residual tensions between Belushi and Chase from their time together on National Lampoon.
Chevy was kind of being overbearing, and everybody was pissed off at Chevy.
And I went in, I was probably a little full of myself after a year of fame or whatever. I think that Billy probably wanted to knock me down a couple of rungs, you know?
Michaels also confirmed some residual tensions between Belushi and Chase from their time together on National Lampoon. In Michaels' opinion, Chase wasn't ready to leave Saturday Night Live after one season, but left after scoring a 3-picture deal at Universal. Murray joined the cast of Saturday Night Live for the second season. Murray and Chase patched things up shortly thereafter, and they famously shared a scene in the 1980 film Caddyshack. Bill Murray's journey to stardom began with his work on the National Lampoon Radio Hour and Saturday Night Live, joining SNL in 1977. Murray quickly became a fan favorite due to his unique comedic style and memorable characters. His breakout role in Caddyshack cemented his status as a comedic heavyweight. Chevy Chase's rise to fame was rapid and explosive.
Governor George Wallace expressed disappointment that the Pope would not grant him an audience. The Pope simply did not know who Wallace was, pointing out that handicapped people are always knocking on his door.
As one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live in 1975, Chase's Weekend Update segment and his deadpan humor made him an instant star. He left Saturday Night Live after one season to pursue a film career, achieving success with hits like Foul Play and Caddyshack. Chevy Chase had a bit part in 1974's Groove Tube. The low-budget movie satirizes television and the counterculture of the early 1970s. The film was derived from sketches shot on videotape and shown at the Channel 1 Theater in East 60th Street, New York. Chase is featured in the segment The Geritol Girl, a parody of the vitamin tonic Geritol and its then controversial ad campaign. The tagline, "My wife, I think I'll keep her." Chevy Chase plays the narrating husband, while adult film actress Jennifer Wells plays the energetic wife. He then appeared in a similar film called Tunnel Vision in 1976. After this came his first huge success, starring in his first collaboration with Goldie Hawn in Foul Play.
Ew, what are you doing here?
They're from the police. Are you all right?
I'm Inspector Ferguson, ma'am. This is my sometime partner, Lieutenant Carlson.
A 1978 American romantic neo-noir comedy thriller written and directed by Colin Higgins. It made $45 million on a $5 million budget. Foul Play is an homage to director Alfred Hitchcock, several of whose films are referenced in the film.
For us to win, it just wouldn't matter! The really good-looking girls would
would still go out with the guys from Mohawk because they got all the money.
Bill Murray's first huge success came in 1979 in the comedy Meatballs, which made $70 million on a mere $1.6 million budget. The film was the highest-grossing Canadian film of all time in the United States and Canada. Winning the Golden Reel Award, Murray plays the director of a summer camp who has to raise the self-esteem of a teenage camper.
My adrenaline reserves are burning out, and I'm staring straight into the face of a total psychotic freakout.
What are you doing?
I'm writing.
In 1980, Bill Murray brought us Where the Buffalo Roam, a semi-biographical film about Hunter S. Thompson. Film critic Roger Ebert gave Where the Buffalo Roam 2 out of 4 stars.
It's slapstick comedy that tells us nothing about its subject, writer Hunter S. Thompson. It's supposed to be about a writer, at least. No, it's just about a clown.
It's allegedly about the friendship between Hunter S. Thompson and his lawyer, who's named in the movie Carl Laszlo, played by Peter Boyle.
Right.
At no point do we understand why they have a friendship, why they're friends, what they have in common, or why they like each other. He's just thrown in as part of the general melee.
Any movie about a writer ought to make you want to read what the guy's written. You would never get that feeling from this picture.
However, Ebert also noted that this is the kind of bad movie that's almost worth seeing. Gene Siskel awarded 2.5 stars out of 4 and declared that Murray is fine at playing an angry clown, but Where the Buffalo Roam should have given us much more than that. Ostensibly Murray's first flop, garnering only $6 million at the box office. Both actors would be paired in 1980's Caddyshack. A 1980 American sports comedy film directed by Harold Ramis, written by Brian Doyle Murray, Ramis, and Douglas Kenney, and starring Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight in his final film role, Michael O'Keefe, and supporting roles by Sarah Holcomb, Cindy Morgan, and Doyle Murray. It tells the story of a caddy vying for a caddy scholarship who becomes involved in a feud on the links between one of the country club's founders and a nouveau rich guest. A subplot involves a gatekeeper who uses extreme methods against an elusive gopher. It garnered mixed reviews, but was a box office success with a cult following.
They offered me the Attorney General spot.
Oh, what a wonderful surprise.
You want another one? Mm-hmm. Your ex-husband robbed a bank.
Chase also reteamed with Goldie Hawn in the film Seems Like Old Times, also starring Charles Grodin, and was written by Neil Simon. Roger Ebert gave the film 2 stars out of 4 and wrote that the movie never edged over the line of success. He said the good parts were good enough to hold out and promised for more.
Read it, it's self-explanatory.
What do I do?
I don't know, let's take a look. Stick up, put all your money in the bag, one more sound and you're dead. God bless you.
The movie is Neil Simon's attempt at one of these 1940s-style screwball comedies with many surprise entrances, hasty exits, and people hiding under the bed. And there are a couple of hilarious sustained sequences. The film was successful, but not as successful as Foul Play.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
Bill Murray's only contribution in 1981 was Stripes, a hugely successful military comedy in which Murray teamed up with Harold Ramis for the first time. Chevy Chase would give us 2 mild offerings in 1981 with Under the Rainbow, a film that satirized the making of The Wizard of Oz, and Modern Problems. Chase plays an air traffic controller in this somewhat more successful offering. It made $26 million on an $8 million budget. In 1982, Bill Murray appeared in a supporting role along with Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie. In 1983, Chevy Chase appeared in the flop Deal of the Century with Sigourney Weaver and Gregory Hines.
Okay, the critics always really preferred Bill Murray movies to Chevy Chase movies. However, it does seem as if the point of all the Bill Murray movies is that he's this kind of hip, cool, curmudgeon, smart-ass guy who in the last 20 minutes gets a transformation and becomes this nice guy and almost apologizes for who he was the entire movie, the whole rest of the movie before that happened. Stripes, Groundhog Day, Scrooged. How does he go from where Warren Oates kicks his deservedly kicks his ass? He deserves to get belly punched by Warren Oates in that movie. How does he go from being this iconoclastic, I don't give a about anything, I get beat up by Warren Oates, to now he's rallying the troops? Yet, Chevy Chase movies don't play that shit. Chevy Chase is the same supercilious ass hole at the end of the movie that he is at the beginning. He never changes in his stuff. He's always like a bit of a dick and is always completely sarcastic. I mean, unless they cast him playing a dope like he is in the vacation movies. But when he's playing like a Chevy character, he's he never apologizes for who he is, stays that way throughout the whole film. And even if there is a slight change, that's not the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
Is like turning him into a nice cuddly guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. We thought you enjoyed fruitcake.
You enjoy throwing up every 5 minutes, Claude?
Clark.
I thought so.
It also appeared in the first National Lampoon Vacation movie, which gave us his most famous role, Clark Griswold. He would play Griswold in 4 more vacation movies and spoof the role on Family Guy. Bill Murray had mediocre offerings in 1984 with Razor's Edge, BC Rock, and Nothing Lasts Forever.
Hello? That's a different look for you, isn't it?
Are you the keymaster?
However, he hit his most significant role with the #1 box office movie of the year, Ghostbusters, with Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. What's more interesting about his involvement is that his part was originally going to go to John Belushi before his untimely death. Murray would appear in 4 more Ghostbusters movies, reprising his role as Peter Venkman in 3 of them. So both Saturday Night Live alumni would simultaneously carve out their most significant roles at about the same time. Chevy Chase would give us another iconic character with 1985's Fletch, spawning a sequel. He also reprised the role of Clark Griswold that year with National Lampoon's European Vacation, which was successful, but nowhere near as successful as the first film and received more mixed reviews. Much more successful was his turn in Spies Like Us alongside Dan Aykroyd. The Three Amigos followed in 1986 with mild success.
They're going to kill us.
Bill Murray's only appearance in 1986 was a cameo in Little Shop of Horrors. Both actors would take 1987 off. In 1988, Bill Murray had another success with a parody of A Christmas Carol called Scrooged, while Chevy Chase's offerings that year were not well received. He appeared in Funny Farm, The Couch Trip, and the sequel Caddyshack 2, which Murray, who notoriously hates sequels, refused to appear in. His offerings in 1989 were far more successful, reprising his roles in Fletch Lives and the biggest money-making vacation movie of all time, Christmas Vacation. Bill Murray's only offering in 1989 was Ghostbusters 2. They finally talked him into a sequel, which, though successful, paled in comparison to the first movie. That covers both actors' careers through the 1980s. Their careers since then have been a hit or miss, a mixed bag, and we'll discuss those on a different show. Murray and Chase's relationship has been characterized by rivalry and respect. Their infamous altercation backstage at Saturday Night Live in the 1970s is well documented, highlighting their competitive nature, legacy, and impact. Bill Murray's impact on comedy and film is profound. He has garnered numerous accolades, including a Golden Globe for Lost in Translation, and has become a cultural icon. His work in mainstream and independent films continues influencing new generations of comedians and actors. Chevy Chase's contributions to comedy are equally significant. As a pioneer of Saturday Night Live and a fixture in 1980s and 1990s comedies, he has left an indelible mark on the genre. While his latter career faced challenges, Chase's early work remains highly influential. Bill Murray and Chevy Chase have carved out unique and unforgettable legacies in the grand tapestry of comedy. Their careers, marked by iconic performances and occasional rivalries, have shaped the landscape of comedic entertainment. Whether through Murray's nuanced portrayals or Chase's sharp wit, their contributions continue to bring joy and laughter to an audience worldwide. And that was our show for today. What did you think? Are you a fan of Bill Murray or Chevy Chase? Do you like both actors, one more than the other? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And while you're at it, I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel, click the bell to stay informed, and check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments section. Until next time, this is Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.